Welcome to the JAMODI podcast, where we interview coaches and leaders to find out not just what they do, but how they do what they do. Becoming the best version of ourselves is JAMODI, just a matter of doing it. How do you live out your culture on a daily basis?
Well, so my motto is coaching is they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, and we live that out daily in everything that we do. That's from we have what we call sunrise shooting in the morning. So our guys get up and they shoot 6:45 to 7:30. They're getting around 200 to 300 shots up before they go to school. We some of the things that we do as far as for schoolwork, we have grade sheets, and so these guys turn in a grade sheet to us every week. And they have to make sure their teachers sign it. There's things like that. So we're holding them accountable. Again, it's just more than basketball. And so we hold them accountable in the classroom, and anything under an 80, there's a consequence for it. So again, these guys they're seeing that it's not just about how good can I be on the floor. Again, we talked about Man Up Monday too, things that we do every single day.
Let me ask, because I like to dig deep with some of these things, because I love the idea. What would you call the shooting thing?
We call it sunrise shooting.
Sunrise. I love that.
Yeah.
Sunrise shooting. What time does school start?
Our school starts at 7:55.
Okay, so you give them about that 25
Yeah,
minutes or so,
and that's just in case if they want to shower or if they, whatever they want to do. Because once again, with UIL rules, we're not allowed to do, we're not doing all that stuff. So we pretty much just have a planned thing for them. And so they get in, they get in those shots, and then we're out. Like I said, by 7:30, they're pretty much done.
I noticed you had a shot chart of how many guys have made or something. You put a great graphic out with that.
Yeah.
You have pretty good a lot of guys coming in the morning to do that, eager to do that, or
we're averaging about 20 to 25 kids.
Incredible.
And that's our high school kids. Now I have a middle school son that comes because he does have a choice, but
let's go.
It's a seventh grader. And my whole goal is to kind of get this started also in what we call the middle school, the 7th and 8th graders. But yeah, we have a lot of kids, and I it's not my idea that the coach before me had this set up. We were very fortunate to be able to come into a place that loves basketball.
Nice.
And so it's, and he did a great job. He's now at Allen, and so he's going to do a great job there. And so it's one.
I want to meet with him. I think
it's awesome.
We were at a coach's kind of roundtable at the Colony together. And man, everything that he was saying, I actually his magnet deal, I already borrowed it.
Oh we do that through sunrise shooting. And so a lot of our stuff is, and so we have, I think there's 21 shooting drills that we have records on. And so like these guys, we'll get up and get some warm up shots up and a little bit of, getting your blood flowing, and then they just compete. And they're going at it. There's time on the clock. They put the time on, and if they can beat it, they beat it. And if not, then they're just always competing against each other.
That's good stuff. With the grade sheets, so I don't know. Yeah. I'm blanking on what coach I was listening to, but it's kind of a older school guy. But it was Coach Mayo. He said over the years he never looked at grades. He never went to a teacher to talk about grades, and how he said his players understood that it was, and the parents understood that it was on them to do that. Now that when I heard that terrified me. like
that does me too.
But because I've done grade sheets like that, and so kind of. What's the feedback like? I guess if it's just like anything else, if you set the standard of this is what we're going to do, then the kids just kind of fall in line with that. Your 80 policy is aggressive, and I like that. So tell a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So I was at a USA clinic the other day, and Duncanville's coach, was talking about it too. They do the same thing, and PV was it's one of those where you're trying to teach the kids how to be accountable, and it's not their parents, issue. It's not my issue. It really, in all aspects, it's their issue. And so what we want to do is teach them if there's a problem, they've got to go back and figure out how to work that problem out. it's okay if I can go on our Skyward stuff and I can check their grades and I can do all that. Well, we're not teaching them anything.
Yeah.
And it goes back to our culture. I want you to be, when you leave our program, I want you to be somebody that can contribute to society, whether you go to college or anything like that. But, this right here, you're on a weekly basis. It'll tell you attendance. Teachers have to sign it. It's just a one sheet thing. So there's 8 classes on it. And the feedback I've gotten from teachers is they love it. Nice. Because and that's what, when I sent it out, it was like, I don't want to, we already do a ton of work as a teacher, and I don't want something to be even more work. Yeah. But I also never want to have an issue with a player in a classroom. And so this allows us to kind of open that communication up, and I'll talk a little bit later on in some of the questions, but we have one-on-one meetings with our players every week. And this is something that we talk about. We pull up that grade sheet and it's like, hey, I see it, either you're struggling in this class, and at that time we can help to be say, hey, you need a tutor. Do we need, things that we can do to kind of get in front of it instead of just looking at grades and go, oh man, when you're on the line, you got to go correct it. Well, that doesn't work for kids, we hear, older generations say it all the time. It's a different generation of kids and we have to adapt to them. And if we don't do that as coaches, then we're just going to phase ourselves out.
So you also talked about your Man Up Mondays. What else do you do with culture? Just how do you guys live it out?
Yeah. So, and another one that we've started, and this one's a little different, but we do yoga together. It's one that, I found that here we've had a lot of kids with their, bad knee injuries, ankle injuries, and I've got some good friends that are in either the college level, or higher of, hey, how do I correct or how do I help kids? Like we had a kid that's broken his leg or right below his kneecap in one leg and tore his ACL in the other. And he's a senior this year. Great player. But at the same time, his knee's always hurting. And so, and I had some videos and, they're in the weight room and they're when they jump, their knees kind of almost come together. And, and he was like, look, he goes, you're going to think I'm crazy. He said, but it's not a knee or ankle issue. It's a hip issue. And I was like, well, okay, then how do we do that? He's like, man, he goes, do yoga. And so what I did is we just started partnering together with a local person here that comes in the mornings. And so, we do yoga in the Tuesday mornings before school, and then we do yoga Thursday afternoons after school. That's awesome. And again, it's one of those things where I want our players to understand that we're going to do everything that we can on our side to help them out. Yep. And it goes back to, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Yep. That ties into everything that we do.
Yeah, we started Alan Stein back in the day when he was doing Stronger Team clinics. He did one here at Faith, and he talked about yoga with his players, and he used this. It's yoga hoops. And so I went right out and I bought the DVD, and it's a 20-minute long workout. And it's kind of funny. It's a guy, I think he used to be in the NBA, but I didn't know his name. But he takes you basically through a yoga workout, but for all of the moves, he tells you how it can help your game. And some of them are super corny, and like the guys snicker. And so I was like, the downward dog will help your hips and release you for your rebounding. And you're like, okay. But I was amazed at how the guys. So we do it every Wednesday and Saturday in That's season, awesome. Not outside of season, but in season. But they look forward to it. And the times where we don't do it, they kind of call me out a little bit on it. So yeah, there's something to that for sure.
Yeah, and that's and the kid with the knee problems. He's like, man, I've never really felt any better than this after I've had this. So, hopefully we can, help, at least if we just help him, it's important again, and it's injury prevention also. Yep. Just to help
you
out
don't really know. I always tell the guys, you don't know the injuries that you're preventing by doing this. Right. Yeah. So it's more than just that used to hurt, it don't hurt anymore. You might be sidestepping some huge landmines in your future.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the JAMODI podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.